Health and safety. Importance of your health and environment in this work you are doing, so that you don't work and somebody else will eat the money. You don't want to make the money and come and be healing yourself with the money. It's important. Safety. Thank you. Give a round of applause, please. Briefly. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I really want to appreciate my boss, my friend, and my brother for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be here. And I also want to thank my daddy seated down there, Daddy Shomoye. He's one of the reasons why I am here and who I am today. So I want to say thank you, sir. And thank you to everyone that have made it possible to be here. Thank you very much, as I keep standing on the existing protocol. Yes, we're talking about health, safety, and environment. And you're giving me 5 minutes. God will help. Okay, so actually, every one of us seated here is representing a brand, a company, a corporation, or an organization. And the viability of whatever organization or company you're representing is actually by your financial capability. And that financial capability or strength keep increasing as your clientele keep coming in. And see, for you to keep having this number of clientele to do better businesses, you need a safe and healthy environment. And you need to create it. Your workspace must be free of any form of accident, illness, injuries, or even death of persons, damage to assets, damage to your own reputation, or even damage to properties around where you're carrying out your job. So that's why HSC, Health, Safety, and Environment concern, as far as pest management practice is concerned, is very, very paramount. And when we talk about HSC, it's simply comprehensive framework that an organization puts in place to prevent accidents, illness, and injuries, like I've mentioned before, mitigate it, or if possible, let it not happen, eliminate it. Okay? And this framework or this comprehensive approach is what I always call the top to bottom approach, not the usual Nigerian top to bottom. This one, everybody in the corporation or in the company is involved. From the head, the managing director, or the chairman of the company, to the least person. Even if that least person is just that man that opens the door and closes it, everybody is involved. It's everybody's business. Because let me tell you, no matter how much you put into a business, no matter how much struggle you put into your business, if any accident, injury, or damage occurs, it has finished that business up. Check it up anywhere. There's nobody, there's no company, there's no individual that wants to commit their facility, their home, to someone that is not safety and health conscious. Nobody does that. And not in this 21st century. So that's why when we talk about health and safety concern, is a must. I always say that HSC is more like the leg that is holding the tripod. Very, very important, because if anything goes wrong, everything is finished. Now let me take what happened recently to the late this actor. That little mistake that happened, that negligence to that safety jacket or whatever, cost the life of that young man. And everything about him ended. Now, if he had millions of money in his account, who is eating it now? Maybe the wife, maybe the children. And the kids are still small. The same way, let's look at it in this our business. So that's why HSC is very, very important. And if you don't have an HSC policy or plan in your company before, please, after this program, try as much as you can. Sit down, draft a comprehensive HSC plan for your business, because that is the soul of the continuity and the constant existence of that your business. Now, when we talk about the business that we do, pest management, what we do is laden with a whole lot of hazards, whether you like it or not. Starting from the consumables, the chemicals that we use, to the equipment, to the ones that fill up in your client's apartment, to the individuals that your staff, the clients themselves. And that's why when we talk about hazards, we talk about chemical hazards, physical hazards, psychological. Some of your staff can even pose as a hazard. Their behavior. Some of your clients can also pose as a hazard. The way they relate to your staff when you send them, the way they hush them up, some of them will make mistakes, and accidents can occur. Injury can happen, and that is psychological hazard. So it goes on and on. And that's why when it comes to HSC, the first thing that you need to do in this business is to do what we call hazard identification. Have you ever taken time to identify the hazards lined up in this our process or jobs that we do? If you have not actually been doing that, please start doing it. And I always tell people that your hazard identification starts from your inspection point. You don't finish inspection and then you start analyzing hazard or identifying hazard. You are joking. It starts from your inspection point. And that takes me to that point. If at this point, you have an operational manager, and your operational manager is not doubling as an HSC manager, or you don't have someone in your corporation that is knowledgeable in safety, please, when you leave this occasion, try as much as you can to get one. It's either that your manager will start doubling, he needs training, and we are ready for that. DFORTUNE, right? We are ready for that, okay? Because we want things to get right in this industry. So your operational manager, if he's the person that goes out for inspection, of course, you know, when marketers go out, bring in, or orders come in, people must go out to go and inspect. These are not the days that you sit down in the house. If you really want to do HSC, you don't sit down in the office, okay, how many bedroom flat? Okay, do me a video. The video will not show you the hazards there. It won't show you. Okay? So you need that person that will go out. He actually know what he's looking out for. He actually understands the hazard that he's going to be dealing with. And that's why sometimes when we go out for inspection, after checking the size of the place is 1,000 meters square, fine. Is this and that. Do you go further to ask questions? The occupants of this space, how old is the oldest person? How young is the youngest person? Because these informations, you need them to help you in determining what you're going to go there to do that procedure. If you have young people in that space, you don't just take any kind of rubbish there. If you have elderly people there, people within the ages of 60 and above, you don't go there and go and start spraying rubbish. If not, you'll be ready for trouble. Because you might do a spray and somebody will die. Then you can imagine what have you, your brand, everything in these days of social media, it will be on everywhere. So we have to take note of this. And then find out other things. There are some people, when you get into their space, they have pets. You have to take consideration of that. That is HSC plan. And then by the time you do all that inspection, you come back, you guys should sit down, analyze whatever you have found out there, and decide on how you're going to mitigate this risk that will come out. And that is taking you to the next level, the risk assessment. What are the risks that you have discovered in that place? And what are the measures that you need to use to reduce this risk? You know, most times I see a lot of funny videos on the internet. You see somebody get into somebody's space and is fogging the entire place. Please, what are you doing? Is there an anaconda? That's the question I used to ask. Is there an anaconda in that space? Is there a gorilla in that space that you are fogging somebody's kitchen, fogging somebody's, living house? It's not necessary. When you analyze, you look at your risk assessment, that will not tell you, what am I supposed to do? This space, does it really need fogging? Or you are just going to fog because of the fun of it? So that all the neighborhood will know that pest control companies here have arrived. No. It's not supposed to be so. Because there's something I always say. There's this PPE that I use Not the personal protective equipment that you know. This one is a PPE, the golden rule for health, safety, and environment. And what is this golden rule? The number 1 P is promoting your health. The number 2 P, prolonging life. And the number 3, which is the E, enhancing well-being. See, whenever you go out for any operation, or you're analyzing the operation that you're supposed to do, you have to bring this PPE, promoting your health. If whatever you do in that space is not going to promote the health, you yourself, your staff, your clients, and whatever, it doesn't worth it. The second P, prolonging life. If whatever you do there is not going to prolong the life of the people in that space, it doesn't need it. It's not necessary. And then the last one, which is the E, enhancing well-being. What you are going to do, is it going to enhance their well-being? If it's not going to enhance their well-being, so why do it? Why should you carry fork machine and enter somebody's kitchen? Is it going to promote health? No. Is it going to prolong life? No. Is it going to enhance the well-being of the people there? No. What are you killing in that house? Cockroach, mosquito, ants. What is the need for the fork? When your gel can do the job, that is what is called risk assessment. You have assessed the risk, and then you talk about the risk control. What are you putting in place? Now, when we come to risk control, sorry, I know my 5 minutes. Please pardon me.
Anyway, they can stay here till 6 p.m. Should we proceed?
Should I go on? Beautiful. When you come to risk control, that is where you now bring to table elimination step. Is there anything that you need to remove that you're not going to take into that place? They will call it elimination control in your risk control points. Now, if you check that space and the kind of pesticide, maybe DD4s, of course the organophosphates and all that, if you have looked at that place very well and there is no need for that, looking at the facility in question, eliminate that. If at all you're going to do spray, look for public health approved pesticide. That is what is called, you have eliminated the other one, you are going into substitution. You are substituting those agrochemicals with public health strategy. That's when you look at it, under the golden rule that I mentioned, it's going to promote health. It's going to prolong life. And it's going to enhance well-being. Are you getting what I'm saying? Now you now look at the equipment you're going to use. The equipment you're going to use, is it the one that will go through this the PPE that I mentioned? Is it necessary for you to use fork? No. Is it necessary for you to use mist blower? I see people use mist blower inside people's house. By the time they come back, flood of pesticide would have happened in their house. You don't need it. Are you going to use compression sprayer or any other, or electrostatic sprayers or ULV? That is in the line of HSC. And then when you finish that, you now look at if what you're going to do is not possible with what you're talking about. What do? You now look at your engineering control. And from the engineering control, you look at administrative. Of course, whoever that is going to any space to do anything must be properly trained. Let me give you a scenario. I'm sorry. There's this guy that was doing one bank in Ikeja here. That was some years back. And they went into the banking hall with a fog machine. Unfortunately, the staff that was using that fog machine did not know, he was not properly trained. And along the line, the fog stopped. And you know, when fog stops, if you don't know how to use it, the next thing you will see is what? Fire. And when the fire came out, the young man, the MD was down with the other guy. The two of them that entered that place doesn't know what to do. And they were shouting, what is Mope? When the fire was already reaching, they were shouting, help, help. And you know, banking hall, how it is, glass all over. Fortunately, there was one of the glasses that they could collapse and open. And that was where they threw that fogger from that up down. Don't ask me what happened to the fogger. God helping them, The banking vehicles were not parked there at that moment. And they have to, God help you, they started pouring sand, packing everything, water. And that was, don't ask me, the fogger finished. And that was the end of the job. Now you can imagine, if that banking hall had caught fire, you will say you're killing rats, Abi. You will say you're killing cockroach. When you have removed the essence of HSC, that's the kind of thing that you will have. And I pray that God will help us. So from that, the list of whatever we talk about in HSC is this PPE that we carry up and down. That's the list. Because when you have done the necessary that you're supposed to do, the PPE is just there to help. Not that something will not happen, but it will, even if anything happens, it will reduce the impact. Now look at it. Many of us in the industry, what kind of PPE do we have? You see somebody doing broker spraying, and he's using this dust mask that they sell up and down. I say we are doing swag, and he's posting it, and he's doing broker spraying. You're joking. You are exposing your life, and you are a kind of trading your health. Okay? Now we have to look at these PPEs from head to toe. Your helmet, your goggle, your nose mask. What kind of nose mask do you use? What kind of nose mask do you provide for your staff? Your coverall. Of course, I understand in pest management we have different things that we do. But I always tell people, if you're going to do broker spray, please make sure you wear your coverall. The essence of it is that it will cover your extremities, your legs and your hands. And when you use your hand glove, let your hand glove, let this part of the coverall, let it rest on the hand glove. So that in case if there's a spill, it will just flow out. Okay? And then your boots. A lot of us use slippers. I have seen people using slippers and they're swagging with it. They're swagging with it. Some are using canvas. If God help you and there's a spill, you will get yourself where you get yourself. Because the thing will slip you and you will not understand what happened to you the next day. Okay? So HSC is not something that we're going to joke with. It will be a disaster that somebody finish making money and then, because of undue exposure to some of these things, and not taking due diligence in making sure that you protect yourself, you end up dying. And people that did not know how you suffered to make that money will come and help you to enjoy it. I pray that God will help us. Thank you.
Wow. Come on. A round of applause, everyone. You couldn't have gotten it better. Thank you so very much, man. Thank you for that. Insightful. The 10 minutes has it been worth it?